Welcome to the Pearls of Wisdom podcast, brought to you by Southern Jewelry News and Jewelry Store Marketers. Hello, everyone. This is Guy with Jewelry Store Marketers, and we are here again at the RJO Philly show. And as always, I'm happy to have Elisa Dillon here right next to me with Southern Jewelry News.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. And today our special guest is Doug Meadows, and I believe the store is David Douglas Diamond and Jewelry.
That's correct.
Okay, Perfect. I'm glad I got that right. So, why don't you tell us about your store and tell us about yourself?
Wow. My grandfather started this in 1926 up in Detroit. He had a trade shop, and my dad and uncle took that over in the 60s. And so I did my apprenticeship as a bench jeweler many years ago. I got tired of the cold and snow in '82 and left Atlanta and came to Georgia, or left Detroit and came to Atlanta, and went in partnership with a buddy of mine. And 23 years old, we had no clue what we were doing. We ended up buying a jewelry store in Cumberland Mall, and after a couple of years, we successfully ran it into bankruptcy. And then I talked my brother Dave into moving on down from Michigan. And so we took Dave's first name and my first name, Doug, put them together and created the David Douglas Diamonds in 1985. And then kind of fast forwarding, we bought and sold jewelry stores and did leased apartments, bought a car wash, bought a pawn shop. We finally narrowed it all down to two stores, one in Woodstock, one in Marietta. And my brother had the foresight to say, it was never fun dealing with cousins and uncles. Let's not put our kids through it. Oh. And we split up the company. He kept the Woodstock location, changed the name of it. Our grandfather's name was Arthur Meadows, and he renamed his to Art Jewelers after my grandfather and let me keep the David Douglas Diamonds. Currently, I have my son working with me,
Nice.
And he does all the CAD design.
Nice.
And does all the website stuff, does selling. I mean, he's just a jack of all trades.
Fantastic. And, how long has he been helping you in the business?
Ever since I could make him work. I mean, they were cleaning the store for me when they were 10 years old. When he was 13, I showed him this software called Matrix. I said, hey, are you interested in learning this? He's like, yeah, sure. I mean, to him, it looked like a video game.
Yep.
And so I would haul him on up to wherever that was, up north somewhere, and we'd go for training. And now he's kind of an award-winning designer and different things. So he's taken it to a whole new level. He's been doing it now for, started when he was 13 and he's 32 now. So he's been doing it a while.
That's great.
Did he submit something to some design contest?
Yes.
I thought I saw to the Georgia
there
Jewelers
was the Georgia
Association.
Jewelers, and he's won quite a few awards with them. And then he's also, when Gem Vision was in its heyday and it had these symposiums, they had different rendering designs and stuff, and so he's won a couple of those things. So.
I'm sure you're very proud.
I am. Yeah.
That's parents, just every dream that they succeed what you're doing.
Sure.
We know our industry is full of that.
Yeah.
But to see him winning designs for his creativity, that's just amazing.
And we had when he was 18, I started his own corporation because I wanted him. He wanted to do service bureau work and do CAD work for other jewelers.
Yeah.
And so we got that started, and then shortly after that, I got myself into trouble with the state of Georgia for sales tax.
Okay.
I had gotten behind, and I tried to negotiate. I tried to do a lot of different things, and they finally came in the day after Valentine's Day because they thought I'd have a lot of cash, and they had police officers at the front and the back door and shut me down. And interesting enough, the next day we reopened under his corporation.
Take that, IRS.
Yeah, so in a roundabout way, he owns the company now. I can't even sign a check.
You work for me, Dad.
Yeah.
That's great. I think that's a big, a lot of jewelers are trying to figure out how to get their family
Yes.
to work with them because, succession is, kind of a hot topic in certain circles.
Absolutely. I mean, when you look, especially here at RGO, you look around at all the jewelers, they're old.
Yes.
I mean, I'm old,
Yeah.
and succession is
So
a
what's
hot topic.
the tip? At 13, don't give them a choice. Get to
Exactly.
work.
Yeah. Well, so I had 5 kids, 4 boys and a girl, and the first thing I did is I made them all work in the company when they were little, doing something. I wanted to have an exposure to it, and then I always offered it to them. If you want to go down this path, we can work it out.
Yeah.
Only one of them really took me up on the offer. And I'm thankful I at least had the one. It only takes one. So
There you go.
That's it.
and it's almost somewhat better because if I had 2 of them, then there would be issues, I think.
Ah,
Oh,
right.
You know?
True.
But I went to one jeweler one time and he was trying to deal with his son, trying to figure out stuff. And it was, I'd get them each alone, separate, and kind of have conversations with them. And the son was like, he won't give me any authority. He won't let me do anything. And it's like, I think that's what some jewelers have the challenge with is giving up control.
Right.
And one of the biggest things for growth in a jewelry store is to give up, to delegate.
Yeah.
Right.
And a lot of jewelers can't do that.
Yeah,
And,
you have to allow them to lead, and
Yeah.
it's hard, particularly a family member. I can see that.
Yeah, and you got to let them make a mistake. I mean,
Right.
Yes.
I mean, it's like they're not going to do it the same way you're going to do it, and they're not going to be perfect at it, but they have to learn.
Yeah,
And the only way they're going to learn is to get some experience at doing it.
that's
Right.
right.
And so,
Right.
I mean, I just run away from the store and I make my son, run it.
Yeah, that's a strategy.
So congratulations on your son for all of his accolades
Thank
and
you.
everything he's received. I'm sure you're a very proud pop.
Yeah.
That's great. So aside from bringing on an award-winning designer for
Yeah.
jewelry, what other contributions has he brought to the company or changed and enhanced it?
Well, so he was homeschooled, and so some of the things that I made him learn was things like Photoshop, Excel,
Yeah.
things that were going to help him in life, basically.
Right. Yeah.
No matter what job he had, if he knew Photoshop and he knew Excel, he would excel.
That's it. That's it.
And so that has definitely paid off. He does, helps me to design our ads and our social media and all that kind of stuff. And then he also does all the website, which is a huge help.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's been very, very helpful.
Yes.
And,
So in the article that was released in July of 2018,
yeah.
basically talks about having fun, business, and personal challenges. But what was outlined in the article is your main, the media channel that you've really grown and take grasp to. Could you tell us about what that is? And I believe it's video, right? You've done a lot of video.
I try. I mean, I don't, if you try to find my videos, you won't. But I mean, especially today, video is so important.
Exactly.
And, so I've done a variety of different things. So I guess some of my bigger fun things that I did is Jimmy DeGroat has, jewelry store training.
Yep.
And he's kind of in a silent life. He does video production with 2 other guys. And so I brought him to the Atlanta Jewelry Show. And I said, and so we traded. I paid for the booth, and he gave me a video.
There you go.
Nice. Yeah.
So they came to the store, and we shot a video, and it was just an eye opener to me to see what it takes to really do a video.
Right.
And I mean, I'm a YouTube junkie now, and it's like, I do video production on the side for different little things, but nothing crazy. And, it gives me a real appreciation for what it takes to put a video
Right.
together, you know.
Yeah, Guy knows that all too well.
yeah.
He does a lot with
So-
the Inox brand.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so now, you know, Joseph has helped me to storyboard ideas out.
Nice.
And then, you know, I'm part of a barter exchange in my community.
Mm-hmm.
I've bartered out all kinds of stuff from, when it comes to advertising and marketing, I mean, print ads back in the day to radio spots back in the day.
Right.
And now video production, you know, to where they'll come actually to my store. We usually do it on a Monday when we're closed, and we'll set up, you know, 4 different scripts and ideas and try to get it done from about 9 o'clock till 1 o'clock. That's just getting, you know, the B-roll or getting all the video done.
Yeah.
Then you still have to do the editing
Yeah.
and stuff and
Wow.
post-production. But
What are those videos? You're putting them out on social media mainly, website? Or do you email do clienteling with emailing or
not, I mean, that's where I'm needing help.
Yeah.
I've kind of dropped the ball. I get the video done, and then how do you get it out there? How do you get
Right.
people
Right.
to see it?
right?
You put it up on your YouTube channel and you might get 10 views, you know?
Yeah.
And so trying to figure out how you get that exposure with it, you know,
Right.
we've tried the Facebook and different things, but you know, we're exploring TikTok right now
Yeah.
and
Yep.
seeing what we can do
Snapchat.
with that.
I got to be on all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, luckily you met a guy,
Yep.
Panetta, who runs a company,
Yeah.
which is sponsored. You know, shout out to our jewelry store marketing sponsorship.
Let's talk afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, you know, you are doing these great videos, but what you do need is, and we all need it, is good SEO.
Yes.
You want,
Yeah.
you want, and Guy definitely can help
Mhm.
tell you where you're going to, you know, the best way to get out there to bring more traffic, more
Sure.
views, ultimately more sales
Thank
Yeah.
you.
to your store. So,
Yeah.
you know, talk later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, I got you penciled in.
Yeah.
I mean, not to interrupt, but
Yeah.
before I lose my thought,
Yeah.
we did one of my most favorite events or videos that we did was how custom is made. And we did it back in
Right.
the day when Facebook, you could do Facebook Live. I mean, you can still do
Yeah,
that, but I
right.
mean,
Yeah.
so we did it for 5 days. Each day kind of segmented on different steps of the process. And so I challenged my staff with the idea of I want to recreate that, but do it a little bit better and different.
Yeah.
And so actually the last couple of Fridays, we've been filming all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then my daughter-in-law now is kind of putting all that together. And,
Yeah.
Stuff.
So there's a lot of jewelers that I would think I think a lot of jewelers don't do enough video.
Right. Absolutely.
They don't, and could you what would you say in terms of the benefits to a jewelry store about using video in their marketing?
Well, our industry is built on trust, you know, on both sides of the fence, with vendor, retailer relationships to customer and retailer relationships. And the thing about video, it builds that trust because
Absolutely.
they can feel like they know you. I mean,
Yes.
why are we all enthralled with watching, you know,
Yeah.
YouTube videos all the time? It's
Yep.
like we feel like we know them,
Exactly.
you know? And once you feel that, then you're confident and you're comfortable. And there was, I can't remember the guy's name. He was out in Oklahoma, and he was known as the most social jewelry
Wow,
store
okay.
ever. Jeweler. This is probably 25 years ago when
Okay.
social media first kind of came out.
Yep.
And that's, his store was intimidating to walk into. You know, it was a very high-end store. And by him being on social media all the time, you know, he was a younger guy, and so everybody his age felt comfortable
Right.
walking in the store. You know, they already kind of knew what they were getting into, and so it builds that trust and
Right.
comfort level in a hurry.
Gives a lot of credibility.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I really believe in video a lot, and I do talk about it to clients all the time. Even if I'm just giving advice, go do video.
Yeah.
Because you could put beautiful pictures
Yeah.
and really beautifully written text on a page and it gets lost,
Sure.
wasted. A lot of people don't read it. And video, a lot of people stick around, want to, the video. It's people love watching things these days.
Oh, they do, yeah.
And they can really feel your passion when you say, "Man, I love doing this."
Right,
You
right.
feel it, you see it in their face, and I think a lot of people. I was just telling Diamond Guy earlier. I'm like, man, I love how you say it, but I don't think you're getting the attention that you should,
Right.
because you got this little sign, look like probably 10 other Diamond Guys out there,
Yeah.
but the way you talk about your business and the passion and how you take care of clients, you can't. You need to be. You need to duplicate yourself 1,000 times and be in front, or put a video out.
Yeah.
Yep.
And,
Yeah.
So I really love doing video, and
Yeah.
I think it's great. And that's really. You think more jewelers should spend more time doing video?
Well, everybody is different. I mean, and like for me, for example, I love kind of being interviewed, because then I don't have to worry about trying to read a script.
Yeah.
And I can just flow with it. When I'm stuck with a script, like Jimmy was trying to help me with, I did an RJO video one time, and I was trying to use the teleprompter, and it was driving me nuts.
Yeah.
And he goes,
Yeah.
"Here, let me just bullet point this out for you, and you just talk," and I'm
Nice,
like,
nice.
and so that worked for me. And so I've learned kind of what my style is.
Yeah.
And I mean, we had the video at lunch yesterday, and that was fantastic. I have no clue how much time that took to put that together, but it sounds like they do it all the time. So
Right.
they either just literally built it on the fly. But I mean, it's so easy today. We have our cell phones. You just
Sure,
pull it out
sure.
and
That's right.
start talking.
I tell you, I do professional video production, come in multi-camera, mics, lavs,
Sure.
overhead, all the lights, the whole 9 yards, set up, the whole gambit.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, but I love shooting video with my phone,
Yeah.
because bam, it's so quick.
Yep.
Sometimes I'll do an event, I'm part of it, like a lunch or something. It's outdoor barbecuing, and instead of doing the whole production and everything, I shoot everything with my camera, my phone. I open up iMovie
Okay.
Yep.
on my phone.
Yeah.
And sometimes before I'm done, before I'm even like drive away, my video is done. And video production takes so much time. I love doing those big productions.
Right.
Because if you do it right, you capture the emotion, the activity, the little things, the kids running around. And
Yeah.
you capture the environment of that moment.
Right.
And you can convey that, that feeling.
Yeah.
But man, it takes a lot of work.
It does.
And putting out video doesn't have to be that way.
Right. Yeah. We make it too
if you have one
complicated.
of these, it's very easy to do in your store.
Yeah.
I will say RJO Amber Gustafsson, who we've had on
Yeah,
our
good old
podcast
Amber.
before.
Yeah.
Hi, Jim Bestie.
Amber worked for me up in Michigan.
That's right. I remember.
I trained her.
Yes. Yes, I do. She told me that. So Amber's always popping out her phone and just sitting right there, on the counter or whatever.
Right.
She's using that tool. So
Yeah. She's doing
that's
a good
great
job.
advice. I mean, more
Yeah.
jewelers, look, the consumers, we like to see you online. We want to hear from you. And all you need is this. Really, it does not take that much.
Absolutely.
Well, during COVID, we do a writing contest in our local schools called Dazzling Diamonds for Mom. And the kids write and tell me why their mom deserves a diamond. This year we had 7,800 letters from all the kids.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And we gave away 6 diamonds and over 500 gemstones. And but during COVID, it kind of disrupted our contest. And so I typically will go to the schools to make presentations to the kids. I had to figure out how to do it on video because that was my only choice, And so I literally took my iPhone into my shop and set it up and, just talked to each kid and presented him with his diamond virtually and stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would, my advice to anyone is don't let we have all the tools that we need right in front of us, taking photos, taking videos. Don't find excuses not to do it.
Right.
Don't be shy. Just get out and do it. Be yourself, because that's what people want.
Don't be over analytical on it or too picky.
Absolutely.
Right.
Just
and
done
practice.
is better than what is it? Done is better than perfect.
Okay.
Something. I think that was the saying. Done is better than perfect.
But the other thing is just to practice. I mean, the more frequency you do it, the more comfortable you get with it. So
that's fantastic. So it sounds like you've had a bunch of ups and downs. You've tried a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Your jewelry store is doing well. It's congratulations. In this article, you mentioned another kind of a personal challenge. You kind of got into a little hairy situation there. Could you tell us about that?
I remember when that happened.
Yeah. Well, I got tangled up with a John Deere tractor.
Okay.
My son
Who won?
The tractor.
The tractor won. Boo.
One of my sons was getting married, and the family had some 20 acres in not too far from our house, and she wanted to get married on that family property, but nobody had lived there for probably 15 years. And so everything was grown up and stuff. And so in the barn was a big John Deere tractor, had a bush hog on it. But we also had a ton of rain. It was springtime. And my son was out there cutting the grass, and he got the tractor stuck. And so in trying to attempt to get it unstuck, the tractor kind of did a wheelie and came up on over and landed on top of me and crushed me and broke 8 ribs in multiple places.
Oh, jeez.
So my son Joseph was actually there and pulled me out from underneath the tractor, got me to the hospital.
Oh my goodness.
Not a lot they can do for broken ribs other than give you some pain pills and send you home,
Really?
So I was in the hospital for a few days, just making sure everything was okay, and then they sent me home.
Wow.
But
how long did it take you to recover?
It I still snap, crackle, pop when I give my wife a hug.
Yeah,
really? I know.
That like hurts my ribs.
It grosses her out,
It does. I'm holding my ribs while you're talking, going, oh.
But it probably was, a good 6 months. I mean, the interesting thing was just being able to look backwards. Like when you're driving your car and you need to look.
Yeah.
You couldn't. You almost had to rotate your whole body.
Right.
And then laughing. Laughing was hurt really bad, and so
that looked like it would be the hardest part, because I love how you're always laughing.
Yeah. Well, my buddy would come over and he'd just start cracking jokes.
Don't make me laugh.
So I had to hug a pillow just to kind of hang on there. But
well, I'm so glad you came over that challenge and got out on the other side, and you're looking healthy and as great as ever.
Well, what was interesting is, the next day, my son, Joseph, goes into work, and the bookkeeper comes up to Joseph and goes, Joseph, what are you going to do? You're in charge now. Your dad's in the hospital. Tell me what I need to do.
Oh, no.
And he I think that was a wake-up call for him
too.
And it was interesting. I had him do an exercise before the staff, getting to know Joseph. And I said, share 3 highlights in your life and 3 disappointments or, just tragic things or whatever. And the tractor accident was one of the things, to where he got home that night after it was all over and just fell apart. And it was like, wow, I never knew that.
Right. Oh, my.
Wow.
But,
I love how you have, of course, you teach them right? You teach your kids right, but you've gone beyond just teaching them right. You train your kids and for success. Photoshop, Excel, showing them matrix.
Yeah.
And that's great. I have 3 kids, and I hope they just do well, and I try to point them in the right direction. Sometimes they don't want to. They don't like that.
Sure. Yeah.
But congratulations
thank you.
Sounds like you've done a fantastic job with your business and life, and definitely your kids.
Yeah. It's an amazing story. Yeah, I've known Doug for many years and seen him at a lot of shows, and I'm what's the best part about being an RJO member?
Oh wow. I love the camaraderie. I love the vendors. I mean, I love the other jewelers. I mean, it's just great. You learn so much from people just sharing ideas and things like that, and it's been a good group.
Yeah, they're great too.
Yeah,
and you get a good rebate check.
That rebate, gotta love that money. Thank you, RJO. Well, we appreciate it. I got a question for you too, because you've been through so much. We're just going to end this podcast with a few little questions about yourself. What is the best advice that you have ever received?
That I've ever received.
What's the best advice you've ever received?
Two things come to mind real quick. One is the book Hug Your Customer by Jack Mitchell. And that was a pivotal point in my life to where I got to meet Jack and hear him speak. And that book was like a Bible for me for a long time. And then the other was Brent Harden. When I was just getting started, I went to the JCK show. I literally stole money out of my kid's savings account to get my ticket to get there and put me up. And I got invited to dinner one night, and Brent Harden was there. He's a jeweler up in Canada. And I sat next to him, and I was just enamored with him. I mean, he had a very successful business. At the time, I didn't have much of a business, and I'm like, I want him to be my mentor.
Yeah.
So I basically called him up and invited myself to his store. And he says, sure, come on up. And he goes, what do you want to learn? And I'm like, that's a good question. And I said, I want to learn about inventory. So I went up there and I walked out. He created me my own book. We built it while I was there on my 12 steps to success. And I still work off that today.
Wow.
And so, finding a mentor is huge, and or even a business coach.
Right.
Wow, that's amazing. Great. Well, on a personal note, let me ask you this question.
Yep.
Finish this phrase.
Okay.
The way to my heart is...
Oh, my goodness. The way to my heart.
The way...
I don't know. It's a pretty guarded thing.
It's a pretty what?
Guarded. I keep my heart pretty guarded.
All right.
Okay.
But,
all right.
Man, way to my heart. I'm a foodie. I love food.
I was going to say, what food? Is it a piece of chocolate, Belgian chocolate?
I mean, I love cooking with my wife.
Oh.
I mean, we just, I think that's, and just family, coming together. That's really, you give me my family and my kids and some food, and, it's just, that's my heart.
With you.
That's my heart
great.
right there.
That's the way to my heart, too.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's always good. Any go-to drinks?
Lately I've been juicing, and I love like a beet juice with some celery or carrot or.
Very nice. Sounds refreshing.
It's very, very refreshing.
Beet juice is very good for your blood pressure.
Yes. That's part of the reason I'm taking it.
That's people who get your beet juice. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Well, Guy and I like to karaoke. Do you karaoke?
I've never been good at that.
We tried last night at RJO, but we just could not do it.
I heard rumors about that.
Because I can't stay up past 10 o'clock.
We're going to show them pictures.
Yeah, we did some. So if you go to the Atlanta Jewelry Show, they have a really fun party on Saturday night.
Okay.
And Guy usually hosts it. We get up there and act full. But have you ever done karaoke?
I've tried.
What did you sing in karaoke?
I have no clue.
I
mean, I never did that well, so I've always kind of shied away from it a little bit.
Yeah. Well, one. That's us at the first karaoke one.
This is the Atlanta.
Oh, there
karaoke
you
party.
go.
That's the disco one.
The disco photo. Oh
That's
my God,
great.
we had a great time.
Yeah, I love that.
And
we hope to see you in Atlanta. I know
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
in your backyard at
Yeah.
Marietta. That's coming up at the end of the month.
Yeah.
As well, the weekend before is the in-store show. This is month show for everybody.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
We're
Then you
talking
got
about
IJO coming
this
up.
month, then
Yeah.
IJO, then all the O's, the in-stores,
yeah, all the JOs.
all the O's are going on. So, but we wish you a very successful selling season
Thank
coming
you.
up. As you know, we're all looking
Yeah.
forward to that time of year for us,
Yes.
and
Yep.
we really appreciate being able to have a podcast with you today.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
thanks for asking. I mean,
Absolutely. Yes, I
is
asked
fun.
very personally yesterday.
I know. I love it.
So if you're in the Marietta area and you want to go by and visit Doug, where are you located, Doug?
3605 Sandy Plains Road.
Yeah.
We're in
What's-
shopping center with a Crunch Fitness and a Publix and a Home Depot.
Yeah. And,
What's the website?
DavidDouglas.com.
DavidDouglas.com.
Great.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Amazing. Well, thank you.
Yeah, well, thank
Thanks
you.
for coming by, and I'm really glad to do this in person.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
glad to do it. It's great.
You know, much
Yeah.
better than doing it virtually, but so
I know.
I'm glad to have this opportunity
Great.
with you. You were a lot of fun to talk to.
He's got great insights. I know. I've loved talking to him. It's
Yeah.
great. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All
And
right.
so this has been another episode of the Pearls of Wisdom Jewelry Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Check us out. Check Southern Jewelry News out. Check out David Douglas Jewelers. Check out Jewelry Store Marketers. See ya. Thanks for listening to the Pearls of Wisdom Jewelry Podcast. For more information about the show, please visit southernjewelrynews.com/podcast, brought to you by Southern Jewelry News and Jewelry Store Marketers. Make sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you can catch the next show. See you then.